Hi everyone, this is Coach Charlie, and I am going to be showing you how we're going to run the 4-2-3-1 formation for our season this year. This is meant for the girls. However, as parents, if you want to watch this as well, I certainly encourage you to, because the more you understand about how we're playing, perhaps the better feedback that you can give your player if they have questions as well. But I do want them to watch this to understand it. Several of the girls have run this for the last couple of years. It's my favorite way to run because it's very flexible. But several girls are also brand new to playing 11v11 and being on a full-size soccer field. So I want to make sure that you look at it and have questions. Don't get overwhelmed because it's a lot of information. This is what we're going to be studying and going over and emphasizing throughout the rest of the summer and as we go into the season. But make sure that you have a good feel for this. Spend some time watching it, and please come back with questions because the more we know, the better able we are to perform and play on the field. So the 4-2-3-1 formation, many of you may not understand how and what those numbers mean. It really tells how positions are going to be lined up on the field. So we always start from the goalkeeper position. That's normally not counted. So if you look at the 4-2-3-1 and total that up, that's 10. So the goalkeeper is not included. So the 4-2-3-1 is 0 for the goalkeeper. Then we've got 4 backs, right? So we have one goalkeeper. We have 4 backs. We have the left back, the left center back, the right center back, and the right back. Those are our backs. The soccer team is comprised of 3 different units: the backs, the midfielders, and the forward or forwards, based upon what formation we run. So the 2 of the 4-2-3-1 are the holding mids. We have a left holding mid and a right holding mid. They're also what we call the double pivots. Sometimes they can be called a defensive mid. But know that it's very important. They've got to be able to do a lot of transitioning from the defensive side of things to the offensive side of things and make sure passes happen accordingly. The next group are the 3 here, which are the midfielders: the left mid, the center mid, and the right mid. All 5 of these are midfielders, but these are the ones that are more likely going to be in the attacking mindset. And the last one we have up top is going to be a forward. Oftentimes it can be called a striker, but know that this is going to be the single person up top, and they're going to hold true to that back line, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Why this formation is very flexible. It allows us to be able to use with a variety of skill levels. It also lets us change from a very balanced type of formation, which is what the 4-2-3-1 is, to one that's more offensive minded, to one that's more defensive minded. And these are just 2 different formations that we can easily shift into. So we can take one from the back, shift them forward, and essentially then we're going to have 2 up top. So it becomes a 3-2-3-2. So know that that might be a possibility sometimes. Also, we like to do the defensive shift, where if we're trying to protect a lead, or if the game's getting out of hand and there's no need for us to try to score and we need to work on our defensive unit, then we're going to do what's called a Christmas tree shape. And the formation is a 4-3-2-1, where we have 4 in the back. We drop the center mid. So the center mid's here. They will drop in between the left and right holding mids. And then we've got 3 offensive players up toward the top with the left mid, right mid, and the forward. Okay. So those are what I like with the 4-2-3-1 formation. It allows us some flexibility. The shape starting from the back. So now when we get possession and we've got a goal kick and we're trying to play the ball out from the back, this is how we typically start out. But then as you see from the arrows, we're going to start to shift so that we look like this. Our left center back and our right center back, if those are the positions you play, you're going to shift out toward the corner of the 18. So the left center back shifts here to this corner, which you can see them here. The right center back shifts to this corner, which you can see down here. Either the left holding mid or the right holding mid drops to the center of the field at the top of the 18. You can see here the left holding mid dropped from their position to the center of the 18. If the other team doesn't apply a lot of pressure, then we want the left back to be somewhere here in the middle, the right back somewhere here. Oftentimes they apply some kind of pressure, so if that's the case, they are going to both drop, as shown by the arrows, and occupy this very corner space. If they do that, that gives the goalkeeper some safer options, because back here, getting the ball out of the back, we want to be safe. We don't want to make any risky passes to risk being scored against. When we attack, in the attacking half of the field, we're going to push everybody forward to this half. we want this back line to stay square with one another. And what that means is we're all going to stay equal. We're not going to be pushing anybody, one person lagging behind to keep the other team on side. So we're going to push forward and we're going to stay square with one another. Depending upon what side the ball is on, either the left back may try to move forward to do an overlapping run and cross it into space, or the right side may do the same thing too. We'll talk more about that with the individual players. I want that to happen 5 to 10 times a game based upon how we're playing and who we're playing. Then from here, once we get into this part of the field, we're going to be very creative in how we attack and try to score. So we've been working on some of those things already. Defensively, we change our shape defensively. We go from being a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-1-1. And what happens is the left mid that's normally here drops back. The right mid that's normally here drops back. So there's an equal line of 4 and an equal line of 4. It is the responsibility of the 4 backs in the back to help get the alignment of the 4 in front of them, because these are more used to being in that position. We're going to get dense. All of these players are going to start squeezing in toward the middle, The center mid is going to stay a little bit high, and the forward is going to stay as far forward as the back line of the opposing team's defense will allow. So we want to stay as far back as we can without being off sides. That way, when we win and receive the ball, we are going to quickly go on a counterattack to be able to try to go score from this defensive end of the field. So this is how I want, more than anything with this chart. I'm not worried about all the different phases and things there too. What I want us to think more about is when we have the ball, if we are in our defensive third of the field, I want us to be very safe with our passes. That's what this is saying here. So we make the smart pass, we make the extra drop. We don't try to do passes that are too risky where the other team can win it. As we get closer to the middle of the field, what we start to look for is we still want to maintain possessions, but we're looking for opportunities where we can get it up into this part of the field. Once we get it here, this is my favorite part, where we start penetrating, we start doing runs, through balls, over the top, doing chip shots and things there. So we really want to be good at this part of the field. This is what takes players having multiple years of playing under this system to really get an understanding for this here too. And then in the finishing phase, that's where once we get it here, we got to make the most of the opportunities and take shots and score. So that's really it from an overview standpoint. The next part of this is watch the videos that are going to be very specific about each of the positions. Study it. If you have questions, let me know, but really excited about the season. Hope you guys will spend some time learning this. We're going to talk about it much more in detail throughout the season, but this gives you a head start on looking at what's ahead. Thank you so much. Look forward to getting started.